Welcome to the Canned Wine Podcast, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. This is Season 3, Episode 35, and we continue to bring you the world in a can. And we are lingering a little bit in Italy, which you don't really have to encourage us to do. And this episode, have previously opened a rosé from the Piedmont Hills of Italy, and that was during the Rosé Round Up last week. This week we're in Italy, but a bit of a surprise, we're not doing a rosé. But before we discuss or get into that, let's get to our wine nerd word of the week, courtesy of Dr. Ronald Jackson. And our wine nerd word of the week is de-juicer. Now, not to be confused with de-juice, which was a award-winning wine that we opened a few seasons back. This de-juicer is the device used to allow the escape of juice from the crushed grapes before the pressing begins. That's a de-juicer. And now, on to our can of the week, which is the BARTENURA, I think is the way you say that, BARTENURA Moscato, the 250 milliliter can in a beautiful blue can, and it is kosher, a kosher wine for Passover. We may have done kosher wines before, but not so, we really didn't feature them, so that's an interesting type of thing. It's 250 milliliter size, and it's a 5.5% alcohol. Now, the winemaker is BARTENURA, which is a kosher winemaker, one of the world's largest ones, and it's made kosher and supervised by Rabbi Weissmandl. It comes from northern Italy, the province of Di Pavia, and as we said, BARTENURA is the manufacturer, and it's made with Moscato grapes. And where did we get it from? We got it from the wine and liquor store in Cortland Town Center in Cortland Manor, New York. They surprisingly have a very decent assortment of wines. I'd say maybe half a dozen, maybe 10. And I saw this one there and I said, that'd be cool to do a kosher wine in combination with Passover, which is the season we're moving into now. So that's where we're at on that. Now, where does it, what's the background on this? Well, it was named after a 15th century Italian rabbi whose local name is BARTENURA. It's a long name that you can look up if you want. And the grapes themselves are the Moscato grape, which is an ancient grape variety. There's over 200 different varieties of this, and they do have a certain sweetness to them, as well as a musky flavor. In fact, the name Moscato comes from the Latin muscus, which refers to the grape's musky aroma. So that's what we know about this. It's fairly low alcohol. It's generally as an aperitif or a dessert wine, but let's do what we do here on the Canned Wine Podcast, which is open this wine and talk about it. It has a reasonably pale flavor, or pale color. It is carbonated, lightly carbonated. Let's have a smell. There is a musky aroma. Now, this is not to be confused with There is a North American grape variety which does have a musky flavor, but that is not the one they use in Moscato. They say wildflowers, ripe melons, and honey. That's a very sweet wine. Definitely taste the honey. There is some floral overtones there. Yeah, that's good. I couldn't drink a lot of it, but it would be very nice as an aperitif. They also said you could taste this or drink it with things like a cheesecake or with desserts, cheeses, seafood. A fruit cake would be great, or even some spicy foods like chicken wings would complement this. I'm not sure what little Kim was singing about, but it was noted that she'd mentioned this stuff in one of her songs. And as for a shout out for this week, we'd like to shout out to all our friends celebrating Passover. Hope you have a happy Passover. Our head scratcher following up from last week, Dr. Jackson won the coveted OIV Award, which is the International Organization of Vines and Wines, established in 1927. And we've been featuring and using Dr. Jackson's book on viticulture, vines and viticulture, which did win that award. And it is literally the encyclopedia that we had been looking for. So, and didn't have to go too far from home, having studied with him at Brandon University. So that is the award that he had won, and very prestigious indeed. This week's head scratcher: why are some wines not suitable for vegetarians? Those who have been following along will know this because we quite frequently mention if it's suitable for vegetarians or not. And check back next week for the answer. In closing, thank you for tuning into the Canned Wine Podcast, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. Remember to enjoy responsibly, and just because it comes in a can doesn't mean you can drink and drive. The Canned Wine Podcast is a center stage production, all rights reserved.